My brother, way to close it out. Way to close out a good season of prognosticating. Way to close out a good season of analysis. We were in Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium. You're still there. I came back because one of us cares about Valentine's Day.
Oh, that's cold, bro. That's cold. You ain't had to state. You had to draw attention to it. Oh, man.
Oh, you do know. You do know today is Valentine's Day.
Okay, wait.
You are aware of an invention called television.
Okay, since
on that invention they show shows.
Since you came into my home and you causing problems, don't lose your thought about the Rams. We'll certainly get into the Super Bowl in a second.
Yeah.
I will say this.
Yeah.
It was one time, I think I was at I think I was in LA for the ESPYs or something. And it was a Friday, and I could have stayed. I could have stayed and hung out. It was some event that I could have gone to. And my wife thought I was doing that. It fell on our anniversary. My wife thought I was going to stay there and miss our anniversary. But I hustled back and took a flight, and it got me there like right before midnight on our anniversary.
Nice.
Surprised her.
Nice.
Dog. It was a good night.
Okay.
Let me just say it was a good night.
Okay.
So, having said that, I'm sure it was a very good night in the Holley household, or it will be a good night in the Holley household, given that you hustled home from the Super Bowl, caught the red eye, and came home to be there on Valentine's Day. So, yeah.
I'm just gonna say this, Mike. Let me just throw this out there.
Yeah.
I don't have to wash my hair tonight. I don't have a headache tonight. So I'm just saying, okay, let me just put that out there right now. But you really got that prediction, man, of Aaron Donald. And I'm gonna give you credit for getting it right. But sometimes the obvious answer is the right answer. We get it. We spend so much time leading up to the game. Oh, who has the advantage? When the Rams are on offense and the Bengals are on defense. When the Bengals are on offense and the Rams on defense, and going over the coaching staffs and common opponents. Sometimes it really does come down to the best player in the game. Granted, if your best player is a kicker or a punter, like a punter or a long snapper, you got a problem. Punter or long snapper, you got a problem. But most of the time, your best player is a guy like Aaron Donald or a quarterback. Most of the time, if it's like a play, gotta have it, you should probably go with the most disruptive, the most impactful player when we come to these pick'em, when we come to these pick'em games. And really, that's what it came down to last night. Really, if you think about it, Mike, final minute and a half of the game. Rams are driving, 4th down, they gotta have it. Who do they go to? Cooper Kupp gives you 7 yards. Okay, they go down the field. I know Mike Hilton was complaining about it many times after the game. Every time a new round of questioners came to him, he was like, yeah, they got a little flag happy in the final minute. They let us play for 3 quarters, then they got flag happy. Okay, that being said, who did he go to? Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp with the winning touchdown. And so for the Bengals, when it came to gotta have it situations, they didn't do that. And we talked about this last night at the stadium. They didn't do it. When they needed to get the ball for yard, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, if I gotta have it, I'm telling you who's touched. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm giving my top 4. Okay, Joe Burrow, we know is gonna touch it because he's getting it from center. Joe Burrow, then Jamar Chase, then Joe Mixon, and then probably T. Higgins. Or
Tyler
Boyd.
But anybody but Samaje Perine. I don't know.
What's he doing?
No disrespect to the brother, but what is that fascination with Samaje Perine? Like, he had a nice touchdown in the Chiefs game or what have you, and I get that they seem to trust him on 3rd down and pass pro, what have you. But why in the hell would you give it to Samaje Perine in that situation? Yeah, it's
overthinking it.
Is it overthinking or underthinking? I don't know what it is, but either way, Aaron Donald and Greg Gaines, but we're focusing on Aaron Donald. I mean, and we were watching it from the NBC booth. I mean, the amount of strength, you know how that famous clip of Bill Parcells, this is why you do all that stuff in the offseason. This is why you lift all these weights. To be able to pull, Aaron Donald be able to pull Samaje Perine backward to prevent him from getting that yard on 3rd and 1. And then on 4th and 1, just to power through the line of scrimmage and again, wreck the game, blow up the play the way he's always done. I mean, you know, my thing always was being around the Rams last week, watching him rally his team at the end of that 49ers game, and just watching the mission, the personal mission that he has been on, but also the mission that his team and his organization was on for him. I just knew that that man would not be denied. As far as the end of the game, yeah, I mean, listen, if not for that call, because it was a pick'em game, and, you know, I was torn on who to pick because I trusted that the Bengals would be there in the end and with 9 on their side, have a chance to win it. It looked like they were going down the field. If they convert that 3rd and 1, who knows what conversation we're having right now, you know, but Aaron Donald had other ideas.
And Zach Taylor said afterwards, hey, we weren't going for a tie. We were trying to win it. That was our idea, to win it. And, you know, and Mike,
I mean, I hate 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1 passes, but to your point, Michael, I'd have rather them throw the ball. And then hand it to Samaje Perine. Go empty and throw it, and let Joe Burrow decide it rather than hand it to Samaje Perine in that situation. But 2 times they allowed this man to have an incredible, potentially walk-off moment, which we'll get to in a second. I don't want to focus on Aaron Donald's future yet. I would like to kind of stay in that game. As far as the flags at the end, I didn't leave a bad taste in my mouth. The one on Logan Wilson was a bad call. Both of us went crazy when they called that. That should not have been a hold. So that begat the next one.
And confirmed it.
But the one, was it Eli Apple? The Eli Apple, he had a lot of jersey on that.
Eli Apple was like pulling. Yeah, like you could see it. And on the replay, and you guys saw it at home. You know, you saw the replay. Logan, that was not a good call. Logan Wilson was a bad call at all.
But I don't think either of those plays marred the Super Bowl. And when it's all said and done, and I know Bengals fans, you know, this is their 3rd Super Bowl loss. All of them very close. All of them in heartbreaking fashion. All of them heartbreakers. The stories and the story of this Rams team in general, not just, we talked about Aaron Donald, we'll talk more about him momentarily, but the story of this Rams team and those guys all stepping up. Like, I look back, Michael, and I'm not gonna give you too much grief because you shifted as the season went on and as the playoffs went on. You got off your whole, this is not how you build a team. This is a team full of glitz and glamour. This team is all style and no substance. You got off of that.
I'll let you make fun of me. Tell the people, because we're family. We share everything. We share everything at the kitchen table. We come down, we talk about our day, we talk about our week, and ain't no secrets in the family. So tell everybody what I told you, a revelation, a confession I made to you a couple of days ago after spending some time with the Bengals and seeing Jamar Chase up close.
Oh, that was good. That was good.
What I tell you?
You said, you know what? If I would have seen Jamar Chase pre-draft, we would have never had that running Bengals argument. You were like, he's so physically impressive. He's so physically impressive that you would have never argued on behalf of Penei Sewell. But back to the Rams, though. Early in the year, you know, you didn't like that they gave up 2 1s and a 3 to upgrade from Jared Goff to Matthew Stafford. You didn't believe it was that much of an upgrade to begin with, and you thought that Jared Goff was being disrespected. So that's one. And then as time went on and they added Von Miller at the cost of more high picks, when they signed Odell Beckham, especially the way it ended in Cleveland, you looked at this team and said, oh, man, you know, this is just a bunch of guys with names, but do they really have what it takes? Do they really have the toughness that it takes to come through? And honestly, Michael, even at one point in the season, when they were getting pushed around by Tennessee and San Francisco as usual, I remember questioning their toughness. But what you saw last night was a team that all of their guys stepped up. All of the guys that they needed to step up. Stafford. Kupp was homegrown, so I'm not going to include Kupp in this. But Stafford. OBJ before he got hurt. He looked like he was on his way to being MVP. Von Miller had another historic Super Bowl performance. Okay? All the guys that they added came to play. and showed their worth, you know. And so good for them as an organization. Good for our guy Les Snead, you know, because what it shows, and I don't understand why more teams, honestly, why is what the Rams did, and I never understood this. Maybe it's the franchise mode. Question. Why is maybe it's the franchise mode GM in me. Why is what the Rams did so unconventional? Why was it so bold? It's obvious to me, because if the draft is such a crapshoot, if the draft is such an inexact science, and there are so many early round, first round busts, and so many misses in the drafts, why wouldn't you get sure things? Draft picks are nothing but currency. How you spend that currency is up to you. Why wouldn't you go out and get sure things? And it's not just that they got sure things. This is the one thing I want to say, Michael, more than anything, is that they got good people. They got good people. See, we got so caught up in talking about Matthew Stafford and his playoff record when he didn't do in Detroit. Matthew Stafford, with the exception of Ndamukong Suh for whatever reason, everybody loves and follows Matthew Stafford. Odell Beckham is one of the most popular players in the NFL among his peers. Not just fans and jerseys, but among his peers. People love Odell Beckham Jr. Von Miller is a really good guy. Eric Weddle. Hey, Eric, you in shape? Come back and come out of retirement. 2 years out of retirement. Come out and not just come out, play every snap and be our signal caller.
And
the
play
people
through the injury.
Play
through an injury.
You saw it when he got hurt. You saw it when he got hurt.
Man, something's wrong with him.
Yeah, you saw it at the moment. Yes.
He kind of turned. So he played through a pectoral injury.
Not just the names, but the people that they assembled and how unselfish they all were, how they gelled, how they worked, what they committed.
Yeah.
You know, listen, both teams, deserve to win. Both teams sacrificed to get to this point, but there is something right about seeing the Rams' blueprint, pay off with the championship. They did do it the right way, contrary to popular opinion.
Well, and I would say to your point about the Rams star system, I agree with about 90% of what you said there. Like, why don't more teams do it? Let me talk. I'll talk about the disagreement first, and then we can be aligned. So my disagreement is, the draft, part of the draft is inexact, but it becomes more inexact. I feel like we had this conversation before, but from a different angle. It becomes more inexact as you get deeper into it. So you'll have fewer first-round busts than you do fourth-round busts. Okay, there's numbers that, trust me, though, there are numbers.
Well, I don't know. Well, I don't. But I reject that premise only because I don't think there's such a thing.
Premise.
No, there's no such thing. There's no such thing as a fourth-round bust. Right. Once you get to the fourth and sixth rounds, it's hard to bust. You might miss. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. It's like so it's easy once you get, when it's clear. It's like when you're at the doctor's office. Hey, can you see this? Hey, we can both relate to this. Both brothers wearing glasses. Yeah. Hey, can you see this? Yeah, I see it. Okay, how about this? A little tougher to see. And by the time you get down to number 7, you're guessing, you're saying that's L, and it's actually X. They're like, yeah, you can't see. Yeah. You got 20/40 vision. We know. And so, like, first round, it's easier. It's not like foolproof, but it's easier to see in the first round than it is in the fourth or the fifth. And so the Rams, I think what's been smart, what they've done is take the easier, more valuable currency, first round, so we can see better with that, but it's also more valuable. We'll take that. We'll give that to you because we know what we're getting in return. So will I give up a second and third rounder for Von Miller? Sure. That's good currency, but I know who Von Miller is. Will I give up first round picks for Matt Stafford? Yeah, it's valuable, but I know what I'm getting. And what they've done that, but then they have crushed fourth round, fifth round, sixth round.
Undrafted free agents even. Yeah.
And you got to do that to maintain that. You can't possibly have, 14 or 15 guys at that pay level. It's just not going to work on the cap.
Yeah.
So they really have weaved it in together. I think it's brilliant. And it worked out for them. Why don't more teams do it? Because most teams are resistant to change. As we know, and we've talked about, the league is resistant to change. So most teams need to see somebody else. You do it first. Oh yeah, that's going to work? You do it first.
Yeah.
And I think there will be there's a trend. I think there's be some teams copying the Rams.
You already beat me to the Pulp Fiction reference, so I'll close with another one. Unlike the wolf at the end of the diner scene, or leading to the diner scene at the end of the Jimmy situation. I beg your pardon, the body situation. No, but when he asked Milady to breakfast, he's like, just because you are a character doesn't mean you have character. A lot of people thought that the Rams just had a cast of characters. They showed through this playoff run, but especially last night, because it got a little sketchy there in the middle. You know, in the third quarter, it looked like the Bengals might actually take off with this thing. They once again showed that they have championship character and championship mettle. So hats off to the Rams, man.
I thought you were about to reference, you know, Mr. Wolf, it's a real pleasure working with you.
Real pleasure watching you work.
Hey, thanks for watching Brother from Another on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe before you leave, and be sure to watch us 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Peacock. Appreciate you.